Morning everyone, Ian Dean, owner and proprietor of Health and Happiness Personal Training. Today's topic covers resistance training or cardio, which is the best to do. Now it's interesting, obviously I come from a sort of a cardio background I suppose, played a lot of sport, football, rugby and a lot of athletics, so not really a natural sort of weight trainer I would say. Um, a lot of people think that weight training is going to be bad for them, so they're going to bulk up, they're going to put on weight. Now that's one of the big sort of misnomers, because resistance training is actually a vital component to training. So, coming back to the sort of basics, well, the scientific thing, what you want to do in a gym, whether you're or whether you're training at home, is raise your metabolism. So, say your metabolism is running at 30 miles an hour, and you do some sort of activity, and you raise that metabolism to 60 miles an hour. Then you are, if you were a car, you're going to burn, you're going to consume more petrol. So in the human body, you raise your metabolism from 30 miles an hour to 60 miles an hour. You are going to consume energy, which will ultimately mean that you're burning your energy stores, i.e., fat that is stored in your body. So what I say to people is, when you go to the gym or you train at home or whatever, do a light warm up. It's very important to slowly elevate your heart rate. After that, do some stretching, just to make the muscles nice and pliable and ready for what you're going to be doing, and then do some resistance training. Because resistance training actually does raise your metabolism very quickly, and I think more quickly than maybe cardio. So I actually say to people, rather than doing your cardio first and then doing your resistance training, actually do your resistance training first and then do your cardio, because your metabolism is raised. You've done your strength training and then do your cardio after that. So the bottom line is, you should do a combination of both. Now, it's really interesting. Well, it's interesting for me. Might not be for most. But you have a spectrum. They call it the hypertrophy spectrum. Thinking back to my PT course, so it's the hypertrophy spectrum. On the one end, and this is based on the number of reps. So on the bottom end is 1 rep, and then the top end I would say is 20 reps. Now the bottom end, 1 rep. And you will see people in the gym, or I see them probably once a month. Someone will just come in, and they will do some stuff, but then boom, they will literally do, and it's usually something like a deadlift. They would do bang, one deadlift, yeah, and that is it. They go home. Now, 1 rep max is what it says it is on the tin. It's basically the maximum amount of weight you can lift, whether it's a deadlift, a bench press, a squat. Trying to think of anything else. No, they're probably the main sort of three. So this is sort of explosive, heavy weights. Now there's obviously a lot of benefit in doing that, but it's not really for the main sort of population. Yeah, I don't think I'm ever going to do 1 rep maximum. Then you have the other end, which is the 20 sort of reps. So 15 to 20 reps, I say, would be a good thing. Now this is really good for endurance and weight loss. So yeah, yesterday when I was showing someone around the gym for the exercise referral, I was saying, yeah, do 20 reps, have a rest, 20 seconds rest, then do another 20 seconds rest, then do another 20. 3 sets of 20, that is what they call a basic set. And I think I'm going to come on to that in future blogs, because there's obviously different ways that you can work So things like pyramids, giant sets, tri-sets, supersets, and I'll come on to that because it's quite an interesting topic. And then probably in the middle, you've got maybe sort of 7 to 10 reps, I think it is, and that you're then actually in the middle of this spectrum. So if you say you've got muscle growth at one end, endurance sort of toning at the other end, in the middle you're actually getting a combination of the two. So yeah, if you're doing sort of 7 to 10 reps of something, that is quite a good combination. Now, what I always say to people is pick a weight that you can comfortably do. So if after 5 reps, say you're doing 20, if after 5 reps you can't lift anything more, then that's too heavy. Whereas whereas you don't want to take it too easy. So if after 20, and say 20 is your target, if after 20 you could do another 40 off the bat, then that's way too light. Because ultimately you're there to work out, so don't sort of cheat yourself. So if after 20 reps you think you can do another 40, then boom, move it up. Obviously last week we talked about, or earlier on this week we talked about progression. So 5% a week. Say your the weight that you're lifting is 10 kilos. Maybe after 2 weeks you maybe could lift 12 kilos. That's 5%. Yeah. So always try and mix it. But primarily today I'm thinking about resistance machines. Obviously I can come to in another session about things like dumbbells and whatnot. Just be wary of dumbbells and kettlebells, etc., because you do need to have a little bit of a good technique, otherwise you can injure yourself. Whereas in the more conventional gym perspective, then these resistance machines have one sort of plane of motion. You're less likely to injure yourself. It obviously brings to contradict that, the thing that makes me laugh is that you see people sitting down all day. They sit down at the office, they sit down in their car, and then boom, they go to the gym and they just literally sit down on a bench press or on a lat pull down or whatever. So yeah, if you are confident to use dumbbells, kettlebells and the functional area, then that will be much better for your health, because you are burning calories, because we naturally, even me, I'm sitting down now, we're almost programmed now to sit down. So that is it for today. I just thought this is like a precursor, I suppose, to the next few blogs, because I'm going to start talking about different ways that you can train in terms of resistance training, and then also different ways that you can train for cardio. Excuse me. So I think try and combine both. They're very good for cardio, obviously good for the heart. Resistance training, good for the muscles, which then has other added benefits, that is very good for joint strength, and also for toning. So that's it for me. Big shout out to my university mates who are at the moment playing checkers. Really disappointed that I'm not there this year, but I will be there next year. And I don't think anyone else is doing any challenges this weekend. So I'm just meeting up with Brian this afternoon. Obviously completed his 1 million steps for diabetes. Really, really proud of him. I know that it was a big achievement for him, and and I shout out to him. So I'm meeting up with him over at the game, and before that I'm meeting up with an old boss, Doughboy from Computer Futures. So that is 17 years in the making. So once again, my name's Ian Dean, owner and proprietor of Health and Happiness. Have a lovely day. Bye.